Hi, welcome back to Guitar Lessons Kinsale. This is the fourth video. In this video I'll be explaining how to play rhythm. It's basically a right hand technique involving what we call strumming on the guitar. I suppose start off with basically music is divided into bars. There's an example of a chord sheet here. Don't worry about the chords. But you can see that they're split up, those lines are divided into bars. I briefly explained that in the last tune. And then bars are then further subdivided into beats. And it's how we divide up the bar are the different beats that give you different rhythms. Okay, so this sheet you should have, if you haven't downloaded it, you can download it from the link there in the info bar. It just basically explains what the notes look like, the rhythms, and explains what they mean. There's lots of people who kind of say, oh yeah, the strum is down, 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 up, but doesn't quite explain it quite well. How long is it down? How long, how fast are the down ups? It doesn't really explain. So I find that actually learning to read this, which isn't that much, it's not a whole whack of theory to learn really. It's fairly straightforward. It doesn't take that long, and I find most students get a grasp of it fairly quickly. Okay, so the most common time signature we're going to deal with is 4/4, which when written down on a music stave looks like that, and it's literally a 4 over a 4, and it just means there's the number on top means how many beats, and the number on the bottom means what type of beat. So it's kind of like almost like a fraction. So the beat on the bottom is 4, so that means a quarter note, and then there's 4 of them. So you can have 2/4, 3/4, 5/4, etc. And you can also have 8 down here as well, but that's for another day. Okay, so basically how we can divide up those 4 beats. First one here on top, this guy is called a whole note, also known as a semi-brief, but we'll call them by these. They're much easier to remember. Basically it's a whole note because it lasts and rings for a whole bar. So if I play a whole note for you, I'm just going to turn on my metronome here, and just to give us the beat so you can hear the chord ring into the beat. So I'll let it ring for 4 beats. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll let that note or the chord ring for 4 beats. Okay, half notes basically quite straightforward. They're going to last half a bar. So half of 4 is 2. So these guys last 2 beats long. So you're going to play the first one on the 1 and let it ring for 2, and then strum again on 3, let it ring for 4. So it sounds like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're half notes. The next guy then are the quarter notes. Now this is what I kind of suggested to do in the last video. Basically you just have a strum on each beat. So every time there's a beat you're playing one. So they're 1 beat long each, a quarter of a bar, which 4 into 4 is 1. So they sound like this: 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then the other guys then are the 8 notes. Now 8 notes, basically what you're doing is you're dividing a beat into half. So they're half a beat long. So for every beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to have 2 notes. So if I just clap it, it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so we count the beats always 1, 2, 3, 4, and basically halfway between the beats is the and. So we always count them, and it's a nice easy way to count. And counting really does help when you're learning these rhythms, because if you're counting, you generally 9 times out of 10 you'll play the rhythm correctly. So how we play that on the guitar is basically the beat is down, and what's known as the off beat, because it's not on the beat, it's off the beat, is an up. Now sometimes this is called the downbeat and the upbeat, quite simply because you strum the beat down and the offbeat up. So you might hear both both people describing them both ways. So if I just play that for you, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and okay. So I kind of described here as well, if you look on this side here, I wrote tick tock. If you think of a clock ticking, it's quite easy to remember. Tick tock, 1, 2, 3, 4, tick tock, tick tock. That'll give you a nice even 8-note rhythm sound. Now an important, and I find this really helps a lot of my students with the guitar, because we're strumming up and down. So with the quarter notes, we'll go back to the quarter notes. You can see here I've you won't have, this is not drawn in on your example, but you can draw this in yourselves. Obviously the 1, 2, the and is still there, it's just not being played. So basically what happens is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, but you can see my right hand is still moving up, and I'm placing the up movement on the and, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so this is a great tip, because if basically your right hand, no matter what rhythm you're playing, whether I'm playing these quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the movement in the right hand is the same both times. So basically how you change the rhythms, it's not actually, your right hand doesn't do anything different, besides it keeps moving up and down. It's just whether you pass over the strings or you actually physically hit them. So I'm going to give you suggest this rhythm down here, rhythm number 1 for our for Brown Eyed Girl. So it's basically, we've got 2 quarter notes on beats 1, and then a quarter note on beat 2, and then on beats 3 and 4 you've got 8 notes. So it sounds like this. It goes 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3 and 4, and so again you'll notice no matter what rhythm I'm playing, whether it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and, or the 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the movement in the right hand is the same always. Okay, so that hopefully gives you a good idea of what rhythm involves. It's just important that you keep a nice steady movement in the right hand, that you keep the right hand moving, because if your right hand's moving the whole time, you'll never make a mistake, because your hand will always be down on the beat and will always be coming up on the offbeat. It's a very important rule for music, or well, for the guitar. And just a quick note point as well is the other factor that changes rhythms is tempo. So I have my metronome here set at 70 beats per minute, which is kind of a slowish enough tempo. So if I speed that up, you basically, the same rules apply, but the notes will be shorter because the tempo is faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, you know, as opposed to the slower one we had there a while ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So both times those chords were lasting for 2 beats, but because of the tempo was faster, obviously when the tempo is faster, 2 beats are quicker, so therefore the chord won't ring as long. So it's another important thing to note. It's a lot of people sometimes when I'm explaining rhythms to them, they're thinking seconds. They kind of think that 4 beats is the same length of time the whole time. It's not that. It's all to do with the tempo. Okay, so the next video we're going to apply that last rhythm I had to Brown Eyed Girl. This video's run on a little bit longer. I thought I'd get it in here, but I won't, so I'll throw it into the next video. Okay, so see you then.